Hey guys, I hope you guys have been enjoying the lesson plan so far. So I want to wrap things up today with our last little activity. This is going to be our fun little tinfoil boat challenge. This is a great challenge for you to challenge your friends, challenge your family members, to see who can build the tinfoil boat that can carry the most amount of weight. So what we're going to be doing is I'll bring you guys in close, I'll talk about the different materials you guys are going to need, different steps we're going to take, and then I'll show you guys how to do the challenge.
So next, let's talk about how we're going to actually build our little tinfoil boat. Now this step, I really encourage you guys to be creative and kind of explore your own designs, but I will show you the basics and kind of the initial constraints we're going to go over about the actual boat dimensions that you get to start with. So first off, I'm going to kind of show you guys some examples of some boats that we've made in the past and some boats that you guys can maybe take some inspiration from when you're designing your own. This is a pretty traditional little flat rectangle one. It's got a short little wall, and notice these corners here are actually folded over themselves to help seal the water out of the boat when it actually sits in the tub. That's going to be really key for any kind of design that you guys create your own, is to be able to make it so that the folds that you make and the walls you create kind of overlap themselves to kind of help keep that water out while you're testing how much weight it can hold. Here's some other designs we've had in the past. This is more of like an ice cream cone style, and notice again we have that same wall fold over again that you can see on the other boat. This is like an exaggerated version of that corner that is in the rectangle boat. And then finally we kind of have the really quick and easy one, which is like a little cup that someone just kind of rolled into a little ball and then made it as like a little teeny basket. All these designs you guys can try out for yourselves, but I will be showing you only today how to do these rectangle ones. So what you're going to do is you're going to start with your roll of aluminum foil here. So I'm going to unroll a little sheet, and really the way to kind of judge this is you want at least 8 inches here. So if you want, you can come to a ruler here and you can measure it, but this looks pretty close to 8 inches, so we're going to go with this. I'm going to tear off this piece of foil, and here's your piece of aluminum foil. Now, this is where the 6-inch ruler really came in handy, or was really important, because the constraints for all the building in this, for all these boats, is they all start with a 6 by 6 inch square of aluminum foil. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to mark out 6 inches right here, and then from that mark I'm going to lay out and measure 6 inches up here, put a little dot so I can know where to cut to, and then lining up my ruler with that dot and the edge of my aluminum foil, I'm going to put another dot right here on this edge. So now I have actually mapped out a little rectangle here that I can cut out and create my boat on. So I'm going to take my scissors, and be careful during this step not to cut your fingers. We're going to come over here, we're going to cut starting at the first hash mark we made up to this second little dot that we did. We'll turn our piece of foil here. We're going to cut from this mark right here on the edge all the way to that same starting cut point, just like that. Then I'm going to save this little piece off to the side, just in case we want to make another design or you want to give a piece to your family member to make. And now you have your 6-inch by 6-inch piece here. This is a great little starting platform for you to work with, and all boats must be 6 inches by 6 inches piece of aluminum foil. You don't want to have any more or any less. That way everyone has an equal chance to make the best design they can. So now moving forward, how are we going to do these fancy little corners on this boat? So real quick and easy, what we're going to start with, and feel free, you can either measure this out or you can eyeball it. I usually like to eyeball it. I'm going to take about a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch at the edge, and I'm going to fold that over. You guys can see here, I'm just taking that little bit and folding it over. Then I'm going to unfold it. Now we have a nice defined crease right here on the edge. I'm going to do that on all 4 sides. I'm going to work my way around, fold it, unfolding, onto the 3rd side, folding and unfolding, and then last side folding and unfolding. Great, so now we have our 4 sides of our boat. So this next step is really important and kind of hard to see. So you see we have this corner here, right? What this corner is going to do is as these walls fold up, both these walls are going to fold up, that corner, you're going to want to put a little diagonal crease right through the middle of it. just like that. So now when I unfold all this and I lay it flat, a little bit hard to see because the aluminum foil is so creased, but you have one crease line here, another crease line right here, and a third crease line that only runs up the center right there. And so I'm going to do that on all of these, make sure they fold outward. A little fold there, these other two corners. Perfect. So now it's all unfolded. I have some creases here that are just going to help guide me as I fold this up. And now as I bring these walls up, bring up this first wall, bring up the second wall, I'm going to let this corner piece fold in and down. And so now you see we kind of have that piece that folds in right there. And then I'm going to squish these edges together, and I can fold over that triangle that ended up happening on the inside there. And then you get a nice tight corner, and it's very well sealed off from water getting in. And you're just going to follow that same step all the way around. So we're going to do that for all four walls here pretty quick. And the last wall right here. Perfect. And there we go. Now I have my little rectangular boat. And so last little step that I like to do, which kind of helps when it comes to the loading process of all the weight, is you want to make sure the boat isn't entirely flat on the bottom. You want to give it a little bit of a divot right here in the middle, so you kind of roll up the edges. And you can kind of see right there that it's not really flat, it kind of bows out like that. And that helps all the weight kind of sit in the middle, and the boat make sure that all the weight kind of goes right down in the center. It'll help let the boat balance longer in the water. So feel free to either follow along with that design or try your hand at building your own design. Alrighty guys, so last step of this activity is going to be actually test our design. So here's the boat that we just made together. What we're going to be doing is loading this guy up with weight and seeing how much weight it can actually hold before it sinks below the water. So fun little part of this experiment is you get to run around your house and look for different items you can use to actually weigh down your boat. You don't have to use weights necessarily. I sometimes like to use coins. These are great because all the same coins have very similar weights, and there's a few different ones to choose from. So you can keep a very consistent kind of measure about how much your boat can carry. There's also different items you can use, is anything that's small but carries a little bit of weight to it. So I have some keys here. I actually went out in the yard and I picked up a few different rocks. And then also, since we're out here in the garage, I grabbed some different nuts and bolts and some screws. So now what you want to do is you're going to need the last supply, which is your container for water. Now this container can be any size, shape, or form. The most important part is that it is deep enough that your boat can completely sink inside of it. That's really crucial because you want it to be able to fill out the most amount of weight until it sinks. The next thing is you want it to actually be big enough to contain your boat inside of it. So notice that this one is large enough that we can put our large square boat in there. This is one of the largest boats, I believe, the design that you can make using the 6x6 inch tinfoil constraint. So anything that's at least, I don't know, about 4 or 5 inches wide, 4 or 5 inches tall, that should do it for you.
Alrighty, so let's test the design we made. So let's take the boat we built together. We're going to go ahead and throw it right here in our tub. I'm going to take that towel that we gathered earlier when we put down all of our supplies and just lay it down right here next to this tub. And now what I'm going to do is choose different weights to put into the boat and see how much weight it can carry. Now this point is really crucial if you're challenging your friends and your family. You want to be sure that you're all using the same exact items. This way it's a fair judgment of who can carry the most. And you also want to go in the same order of how you add weight to your boat. Most designs you want to start with something a little bit heavier that can carry a little bit more weight than you might think. So I'm going to start with a set of medium keys and just go ahead and throw it right here in the center. And I'm going to be real gentle about putting it on because you see the tin foil can actually move around a lot when you add weight. So this is where it's crucial that you kind of balance where the weight actually goes in your boat. From there we can see that my boat's maybe about a quarter sank. So I'm going to take a little rock and maybe throw it in right here, real gentle. We see that boat's still good, but it's starting to twist a lot. So I might want to add a little bit of weight to the edges. So here I'm going to come in, maybe add, let's go a couple nickels right here on the outsides. Looks like we're going to need a little bit more weight, so I'm going to add 4 more quarters to each edge. And that's starting to balance out the boat. So this is where it's really key on how you add your weight to your boat, is how well it'll carry that weight. If you throw it all in the middle right away, you'll notice the boat will kind of crumple up on itself and then collapse. So it's really key that you kind of add it slowly and methodically all the way around the boat. So you're going to want to keep doing this until you notice the boat is starting to get real close to the water's line edge. You can see right here, we're just about to pass the edge right here. So I might add a little bit more weight over here. Grab a few more coins, kind of load these guys up. We're getting real close right here. I think with just a few more coins, we're going to end up going over. More pennies. And we see, just as I run out of coins here, I think this water is going to breach the edge. Oh, and there it goes. All right, so now we have a measurement of how much weight this boat can carry. And so now when you challenge your friends and family, you want to start with the same heavy items and then slowly start to add those lighter items like coins. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you guys had a really good time. I hope you guys have a lot of fun doing this experiment with your friends and your family and challenging each other to see who can make the best design, the best boat. Please, if you have any more questions, feel free to comment down below, or if you want to find out more or just see different resources, we have all those down below in the description box for you guys to click on. Also, be sure to check out our other videos that we're going to be putting out, and stay safe during this time. Have a good one, guys.